Game loaded.
Hi, and welcome to the edition of Lessons Learned with your host, Rafael Piñero. Or should I say, welcome to the perfect shitstorm Microtransaction edition. Because now it is official with the release of Halo 5 that microtransactions are going to be in every AAA game out there. Because reasons. It brings me back to the days of tabletop RPG back in the mid-80s to mid-2000s. 20 years of nothing but garbage that came out of every single publisher in the form of splat books. Splat books here, splat book there, splat book everywhere. They were books full of character classes, weapons, magic, options up the wazoo. Sounds familiar? Of course it does. It's the same thing as microtransactions and bad, sucky, non-content DLC. It's the same bullshit. And so we have it now. And by the way, people say, well, it's all optional. Yeah, I remember those books. You had to have the books because there were constant rule changes and setting changes. And of course, there's always that one player that spent $20, $40, $80, $100, $200 on books just because they wanted to have their uber kobold death destroyer who rolled, 200 D4s per hit. You wanted that guy on your team to play your game. You don't want to kick him out because, they pay so much money for this. Yeah. And of course, if you're trying to run a game, every new book had new monsters and new creatures and new rule sets and so you had to have all the books. It got to the point in the 2000s with the release of 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons, where not only did Wizard of the Coast, then the owners of Dungeons & Dragons, and still are, Hasbro, decided that they were going to release just a shit ton of splat books. They were also going to encourage everyone else to do that under the open game license. So, of course, there were hundreds of books about dragons, 100 books about undead, hundreds more books about elves, half a dozen books about dwarves. Yeah, you couldn't go anywhere, any comic book shop or game store without seeing book after book with a D20 label on it because, of course, splat books. The same thing with microtransactions and season passes and everything else. They're cooked into the system. They're designed for you to spend the moolah. So right now, when you buy a game, you're not really buying a game. I already talked about this, but I'm going to repeat myself. You're buying access to a wonderful world of very, very short single-player campaigns and hundreds of hours in which you just bash your head against the wall until you pay sweet, sweet money in whatever currency you're dealing so you can get the sweet helmet that shows everybody that you're the baddest dude around. You and the other 200 people on the map who also bought the same helmet. And the other 300 people who bought the new, Nuclear Bazooka 5000 because, of course, you gotta get good. And you get good by paying a lot of moolah. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. A lot of shit. And let me give you a perfect example. First of all, I'll link to some videos below because it shows that right now Microsoft doesn't care about you. There's an animated explanation of their rec system that really is designed to tell you, the consumer, to fuck off because they don't care. To shut your pie hole. Just go to the link. And if you don't follow that link, you can also go to Angry Joe's review of Halo 5 because, come on, it's just stuff. It's just horrible. But of course, it's Star Wars Battlefront. It is Metal Gear Solid 5. It's every game out there. Oh, I'm talking about Metal Gear 5. Did you know that you can buy insurance for your virtual shit? That's right. If you activate the invasion mode in Metal Gear 5, that means other players, whether it be friends or whoever once happens to come across your little corner of the virtual world, can invade your base and they can steal your stuff and kill your people and that sort of thing. But if you don't want people to do that, at least kill people I guess get killed anyway, but steal your shit, you can pay Konami, fuck Konami, so that you can get your shit back. I don't know if you get money or something in return, but you're not supposed to lose. So they subverted a mode that was very popular in other places. I never liked it myself, but there you go. It provided a sense of challenge in order to cook into the system microtransactions. We have games that come out that are completely broken, and yet the microtransaction store works perfectly. That's the state of the AAA industry right now. We're now in a Category 5 shitstorm called microtransactions. So as always, if you like this or any of my videos on my channel, please comment and subscribe. And I guess I'll see you when I see you. Good night.